are about to connect with people who are ready to bring you the most open, honest, and revealing life stories. Welcome to JourneyTV. Welcome to today's episode of JourneyTV. I'm Merlene Camille, your host, and today I have a special guest for you, Zhane'o Newbold, an internet sensation, actor, filmmaker, and musician, all in one. Welcome, Zhane'o.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. So good to be back. I mean, so good to be on JourneyTV. Sorry, I didn't say back, but yeah, good to be on JourneyTV. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. Is this Sarge?
The set actually is very good. Where did this come from?
I cannot. That's not Zhane'o. That's Sarge just now. So again, it's a pleasure to have you.
That's great.
I just introduced you to my viewers. I want you to introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Zhane'o Newbold. Please, and a lot of people just pronounce it around this, be like Zhane'o, all that different foolishness, right? So I'm 28. I born August 24th in 1993 on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning. That's important.
Yes, it's really important. And I grew up over in Grand Bahama most of my life until I recently moved over in Nassau in April.
In April?
Yeah, of 2021, yeah.
That's a big jump, a big move.
It's a big jump. I left my job as well to do this full time, you know what I mean? Now, me and my, I guess, old boss is still cool because I still just go back and forth, you know what I mean? I haven't burned any bridges or whatever. But as far as everything else, I just had to make the jump, you know what I mean? Like, actually jump and not looking back.
To entrepreneurship.
Yes.
What is this? You said jump into this. Tell us, what is this?
Exactly what you're looking at, you know what I mean? Filmmaking, entertaining, editing and commercials and all that stuff, like the whole shebang. When it comes to acting or anything in the performing arts, it's just something that I guess I was born for, you know what I mean? Because I've went through my life trying to be a lot of things that never really worked out, but it all come together in an event. Like, I wanted to be a pilot. I used to build boxes of airplane models, and I used to like chuck them around the yard and fly and land. And then I wanted to become a pianist. Like, everybody thought that that's going to be a pianist, traveling the world, playing in concerts and all that stuff like that.
But you did that for a while.
Yeah, a while. But it was a good thing that I've tried a lot of things, because during that time of my life, you always you don't really know what you want to do. So you just keep going until you eventually find which is completely normal, you know what I mean? But when, I wanted to be a game designer. I used to like model, like 3D design buildings and stuff, you know what I mean? At one point, I used to code, like, yeah, when it comes to games, yes. And
wow.
Yeah, I was a game developer. I was on a team of people from around the world. We would be in this thing, and I guess after time, I guess I never was really, I guess, content. Well, what the word is?
Content. You're right.
Content. Yeah. So after all of that, I found love in media and graphics and all that stuff. When I got my first laptop, I went online and I saw a YouTube video of people doing like Kamehameha and all that stuff like that. Dragon Ball Z. So he was shooting the Kamehameha, and I was like 15, 16, so it looked real. I said, man, how you do that? So I went on YouTube, how to do a real Kamehameha, and then it showed me.
What was the sound effect? How to do a real?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Goku, you know what I mean? All the anime fans, right? Yeah. So after that, I just learned from YouTube, and YouTube just took me to.
Wow, and you were a game developer.
Yes.
Wow, that is amazing. So you are highly creative, highly gifted. God has given you many, many, many gifts. There's a lot of different dimension to you. But like you mentioned that you walked into purpose when you discovered media?
Yes, I did.
Which age was that?
At a very young age, I'd say 17, 18. 17. But then it was like a transition from music to, you know what I mean? Because at the time, I still thought that I was going to be doing music, because I even got accepted to school, like when I'm a sport.
When you say music,
Classical music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Playing the piano.
Yes.
And singing as well?
No.
Because you are a singer. I missed that.
But at that point, I wasn't a singer yet at the sound league.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I got accepted in the school in Miami, you know what I mean, after the audition, we was walking down this, no, not walking down, we was taking the elevator. And I was saying, man, I hope I pass. You know what I mean? It takes a while for them to pass. The guy say, hey, congratulations, you were on the program. I'm like, what?
Wow.
But you know, I had no money, so I couldn't go.
Is
so
this music school? What is
yes, it was a conservatory in Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. It is what it is. But I'm actually glad that I didn't go because I feel like I'm much more better here. You know, rather than just leaving and nothing, because I wasn't coming back. But you know what I mean. But I'm glad that I stuck around and still here where I could do the work, because we need to show the world what the Bahamas is made of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So develop and fine tune and then worldwide exposure.
And then worldwide exposure, yes. So it's always something new to learn. You know what I mean? If you can never stop learning, never stop learning.
This is true. It's a continuous.
It's a continuous thing.
Cycle,
yes. And yeah, then you have to stick with the times. You know what I mean?
So we see who Zhane'o and Sarge. We see who you are today, but behind that, I'm sure you had to endure some things to get to this point. And actually today, all of us still behind the scenes, endure certain things. We're gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back to talk about the things that made Sarge and Zhane'o. So don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Nkosi Kweku Simonette, CEO and Operations Manager at Sign Island. Sign Island started from desperation. My wife went ahead and bought the first printer. I still have no idea how we are where we are. I owe it all to my staff and my customers. You need support. One man is not an island. You can't do it on your own. If you think you can do it on your own and you are succeeding, you can do even more with a little bit of support. The support I've got from my clients has been amazing.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, I'm here with Zhane'o Newbold, known as Sarge. So today we're here to talk about a more serious topic that actually affects a lot of us all around the world.
Yes.
Depression.
Yes.
So on the front end, people, again, you're a comedic, you have a comedic character. You don't call yourself a comedian though, because it's still acting for you.
Yes, I actually don't. A lot of people just get label on me, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
just like how they just Sarge on me when I'm really supposed to be an inspector with the khaki. But anyway, I just kept it because you know what I mean. Yeah. I just just enjoy having a good time making people laugh. You know
I can hear the passion that you have for it. But again, people see one side on the front end. And you're here to share that journey of that period when you have experienced depression.
Yes.
What that looked like, how you got through it, and to be transparent about that journey.
Okay, so 2000. Well, the thing is, I've always experienced some sort of anxiety and depression, and never really knew what it was. It just would have been this feeling that would just manifest in your stomach, and basically it felt like all your organs was just being squeezed. You know what I mean? And time after time, it would come and go when something big has happened in my life, like whether I win something or whether I lose something or whatever. So I just never thought of it as anything. But recently, I found myself getting trapped by depression and anxiety, and and I was in this mental state that just couldn't seem to escape. You know what I mean? It got so terrible where I didn't thought I had any purpose anymore. I thought I didn't have any life. I was just going to sleep, getting up, eating, going right back into bed, and just sitting there for days and days and days and days. And it just felt like it was just a dark hole. I just felt trapped.
Try to explain that to me. When you say a dark hole.
A dark hole, the only thing you see is as far as it wants you to see, in a way that you're only living for try and survive on a daily basis. It's like you stop planning, you stop seeing the future.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You just start seeing what is in front of you, and that's it. Like whatever comes to you, that's the only thing. And you see, like mentally and physically. You know what I mean?
And I asked you to describe that because some people can't put words to that. So you just help someone by putting words to it.
Yes, it just felt like nothing matters. Like like the only emotion that I was able to feel was just, it was just so, it was nothing. It was like the complete opposite of God.
Nothing?
Complete opposite of God.
The complete opposite of God.
Yes.
What does that, and I'm asking because I don't know what nothing feels like. So again, by you putting words to it, that helps.
The reason why I describe the word nothing is when something isn't good, then I label it as nothing. You know what I mean? Now that I feel what the presence of the Lord feels like compared to what I have had, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like nothing. Like it's just like it's just
you're just floating through.
Yeah, I getting goosebumps talking about it right now.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
But like I say, it just felt like nothing. Like you didn't exist anymore. But
like you didn't exist anymore.
Yeah. I stopped eating as much. I began to lose a lot of weight. You know, people come to question to, hey, it's just kind of sick and he's getting skinny. You know, blah, blah, blah.
But I hope they were
Pardon me?
being supportive, not just questioning. Like,
well, you know how people go. But it became a time where I had to really realize and fight on my own. You know what I mean? Because you know. You have to fight, you know what I mean? Like it's just you have to fight, and you have to keep your faith. You have to trust a lot. Like it became a time where I didn't even want to walk down the street. Like if I get halfway, I turn around going back home. You know what I mean? As I was walking, I say, okay, I can trust the Lord. I can trust the Lord. Trust the Lord.
Why didn't you want to walk?
Because
is there
the toll that it took on my body, it was just like crazy. You know what I mean? The toll, like I couldn't walk too long, or I would feel like I'm about to follow. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because then again, I wasn't eating as much. I wasn't taking any vitamins or anything like that. I just was like the small stuff that I would eat would just run through. Like, you know what I mean? Wasn't really absorbing anything, but time after time, I got a lot better. You know what I mean? Now, recently, I had got COVID in February, right? And that was like one of the darkest. Now, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would have been. You know what I mean? Because at that time, I was already trusting the Lord. I was ready, you know, getting closer to Him and all that good stuff. And I went through it based on the way my body was and the condition that it was in. It must have been gone. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm telling you, the only thing I had was lost a sense of smell, taste, and that's
from
it.
COVID.
And that's it. I didn't have any coughing. I had no breathing issues. I had no headaches, no fevers, none of that. And I got through it in 5 days.
In 5 days, it was flushed out of your system.
Gone.
Wow.
In 5 days, it was gone.
Wow.
You know, and but now that the mental part is just taken care of, my physical part had to get taken care of. So while I got my COVID test, I asked a nurse to check my vitamin D levels as well. Because I said, you know what, why not? When I got that, and then I said, you know what, let her check my B levels as well. So I let her check my B levels. Thank God she had took an extra sample, because I couldn't go on because I was in quarantine. So she took an extra sample just in case. So she sent that sample over as well. And my vitamin D and B12 levels was next to nothing.
Wow.
Like completely zapped out.
Was that because you were inside and going through that depressive state?
Yeah, because you know, sun gives you, you know what I mean, vitamin D, and I wasn't at that point I wasn't taking any vitamins at all, like at all. But because you know we were inside during the pandemic and lockdowns, ain't nobody want good, you know what I mean, leave the house, whatever like that. So that played a major role, and I wasn't eating well too. Like I was just eating a bunch of junk, you know what I mean. We all did, you know. So that had a negative effect on my body as well, and I wasn't exercising either. So it had a negative effect when you just sitting and eating, just going to sleep, doing the same thing over and over. and eating a bunch of foolishness that gets to you. So at that moment in time, I just might have messed up something in my body, whatever. But after I corrected it,
you started to feel better.
I started to feel way better.
Wow,
Way
different.
better. When I say different, no more brain fog, no more depression, no more anxiety, no more heart palpitations, no more feeling like I have to follow, no more lightheadedness, no more feeling weak. I could like go all day now. If I did not trust the Lord, I would not have moved an asshole.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow. So that bout of depression was during this COVID.
Yes, but it wasn't because of COVID though, because I was never scared of COVID. Like,
Right. But you got COVID, and then that helped you to discover that your levels were down.
Yes.
And so, is that what you credit? Well, not credit. Credit is the wrong word. Is that why you moved into that depressive state because of the lower levels?
Okay, so when I went into depressive state was before I even caught COVID.
So you know the signs now. So for you, what would you do different if you were ever faced with those type of issues with your body or emotions?
Well, definitely, the best thing to do is avoid it. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm doing. I've been normal since I moved over here. You know what I mean? And everything else, a new scenery. I'm new everything. But I take vitamins every single day, and I make sure I get everything that I need. And I'm kind of still off and on with the eating apples, as you can see my belly. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? I get in there, but I'm doing pretty good.
So for you, yours is more of how you maintain your body.
Yes, that and my mind, and yes.
And your mind. So for someone else, what would you tell them who who has it in a different way? What would you tell them to look for and what to do?
Check your vitamin D levels. The vitamin D plays is a major part. Check your magnesium levels as well, and check your B12 levels. The three of those vitamins are really essential to getting up there and making you feel better. Anxiety and depression comes in different ways, but once you fix your body, you know what I mean, or maintain it in a way that it needs to be, that it needs to function normally, then everything should be working out fine. So check those 3 levels and everything should be fine. You know what I mean?
So that's how it occurs for you. Yes. But what about for people who biologically they struggle with depression, or based on environment, based on an incident that might happen to trigger off? What advice would you tell them?
First of all, they need to go to God first, you know what I mean? Because God has tremendously helped me through all this, and He is, like I say, I came to NASA with virtually nothing in my pocket, and He has provided, you know what I mean? If the birds in the air, you see them getting food and things like that, and we are above the animals, God got us, you know what I mean? So we don't worry about what you're gonna wear, don't worry about the clothes or what you're gonna eat and drink. God will provide regardless.
Zhane'o, thank you for being so transparent with us. You know, the world gets to see that comedic side of you. I get to see that comedic side of you as well. And when we connect, it's comedy all day.
Yeah, man, all day.
But thank you again for sharing that side of you. And I know that you are faith-driven, and I know that what you have shared here is going to pour onto our viewers and put words to what some of them are going through, because people can't always express it the way that you have. Before I let you go, I want you to share with our viewers your social media pages, websites, anywhere you want them to follow you and follow you and your journey. Zhane'o's journey and Sarge's journey.
Yes. Well, you can find me on Facebook at Zhane'o, ZHANE''O Newbold, NEWBOLD on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram as @Zhane'o. You can find me on TikTok as Zhane'o242. And I'm on YouTube, but I don't really post on like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how to find me. Yeah.
Thank you again, Sarge.
No problem, Alien.
Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Want to learn more about our guests? Subscribe to Footprints Journey blog, where special features will be released to give you more insight into their journeys and allow you to ask them questions.
We want you to journey with us. Move with strength and energy. Drinking Ensure, you get vitamins, minerals, and up to 30 grams of high-quality protein. Your life, your health, your Ensure.
The Give Back, presented by Ensure. Your life, your health, your Ensure.
My name is Philippa Dean. I am the Executive Director and founder of the Dignified Girl Project. The Dignified Girl Project was started in 2017, and it was actually the brainchild that came out of an experience that I had with a client of mine at a crisis counseling center here in the Bahamas. And I was made aware of some of the struggles that women and girls face that are often overlooked. And in that moment, being reminded, I too was able to reflect and remember a time that I went through a similar plight. The Dignified Girl Project was birthed out of a desire to meet the need of women and girls who were experiencing hardship. And our mission is to ensure that every child and adolescent girl living within the Bahamas has access to very basic hygiene products, as well as information that is going to empower them to make informed decisions that affect their social well-being, their psychological well-being, their biological well-being, and their economic well-being. Well, I just want to use this opportunity to speak to one of the goals that's always been at our core, other than providing resources, providing information, and showing girls how to apply the information. We wanted to reduce or advocate and lobby for our government here in the Bahamas to not just reduce, but eradicate value-added tax that was attached to menstrual products. And we were so happy when our government announced in May of this year that they were repealing value-added tax that's attached to all menstrual products. So that was definitely a win for our organization. And moving forward, we are aiming to have at least piloted by early next year in one of our public schools the availability of free menstrual products to young women. And hopefully that is something that it takes on its own life, and it's offered throughout the Bahamas, every school, public and private. So we're lobbying to have menstrual products made available free to young women, young girls in our school system.
Welcome to the Great Island Cook-Off,
where each week 2 home chefs go head-to-head creating Caribbean culinary masterpieces in hopes of being named the winner of the Great Island Cook-Off. Our contestants will have 4 hours to prepare a 3-course meal using our main ingredients sponsored by the U.S. Meat Exporters Federation, representing U.S. pork and U.S. beef.
It has so much flavor in and of itself, like you don't have to manipulate it so much. It is actually a very good piece of meat. It's actually very tender. It's not a lot of fight that I'm receiving.
3, 2, 1, time. Step away from the table.
It's very hard to get high quality meat. You either overcook it or really undercook it, but this was perfectly cooked.
You definitely got me. It is tasty. It is flavorful.
The winner of this episode's Great Island Cook-Off is...
Next week on JourneyTV, TV personality, life and media coach Anastasia Palacios shares her journey from humble beginnings to giving hope, sharing possibilities, and empowering women from all around the world. Tune in for this powerful story. JourneyTV, we share life's truths.
Welcome back. And of course, earlier you met Zhane'o Newbold, who is the comedic character Sarge. And of course, we are used to seeing him being very funny on social media, on camera. But here on JourneyTV, he shared his journey through depression. There was a period where he was very depressed, and he was very transparent and open. And shared what that looked like. Our team therapist, Philippa Dean, is here, and she is going to give her feedback on Zhane'o's journey.
Thank you. One thing about depression is that it zaps us of our energy, of our hope, and of our drive. And the very things that we are told to do to overcome our depression are the very things that we find so difficult to do. And note that I use the word difficult and not impossible. And I say that because I want to give hope to those of you who may be feeling depressed, and you need to hear hope. Depression is one of those mental illnesses that is most treatable. Most treatable. That means if you're going through it or experiencing it, you can definitely overcome it. And one of the things we ought to know about depression is that there are environmental factors that contribute to depression. There can be biological factors that contribute to depression. But there can also be things going on with us medically that can be contributing to depression. And one of the steps I often use with clients is to first, even before you see me, is to spend some time with your medical doctor. Let them know how you're feeling. Allow them to conduct an assessment. Run any tests that need be, because there could be some underlying medical condition that can be contributing to the depression. The next thing I advise them to do is do just what you're doing. Get yourself a mental health professional who is going to be able to help you navigate or provide you with the tools that you're going to need to overcome the depression. Another thing that you can do to overcome depression is to get moving. And as I said earlier, the very things that we ought to do to help us combat depression are some of the things that we don't want to do. You don't want to get up out of bed. You may not even have the energy, but those are the things that when you get doing them, they help. Another thing is exercise. Movement is exercise, whether it's walking, it's swimming, it's cycling, get moving. Nutrition also plays a part in the treatment of your depression, and the depression is real. So those of you who may be supporting others out there, I just want you to believe them first and foremost when they say that they are experiencing depressive symptoms. Believe them and help them navigate the journey.
Thank you so much for that, and it was refreshing to have Zhane'o here. Mm-hmm. You know, he was transparent about his journey, and I would have mentioned to him that he put words to it, words to the pain, words to, you know, just how it felt and how it didn't feel, because sometimes he was even very, very numb. And I would have told him, you know, he put the words to it that some people don't have to explain. So it was very refreshing to have him here. And we are grateful, you know, for everything that he's pouring into the community and just filling us with light and laughter, mm-hmm. and still being, you know, transparent with the journey. So thank you, Philippa. And thank you for joining us. Until next time, give love and light to the people around you, but most importantly, don't you forget to give it to yourself. Join us next time for more JourneyTV.
JourneyTV is presented by Ensure, Sign Island, Wildflowers, Dan Brad Limited, and Footprints Journey blog.